Screen. Right. I forgot to click on the share computer sound, which is why you couldn't hear the audio, but never mind. I'll just finish off quickly. Right. So, so if I click on the first link, this is a reordering activity. So if I press play now. Last week I went to the cinema to watch the latest James Bond film. It was great. Afterwards, I went to the restaurant. Okay, and then the idea is you then put the words back in the right order. So you could, for example, start off by saying, last week, you get the idea, yeah? You just put it back into the right order. So it's not self-marking, but you could do this either live with the children, or you could send them the link and they could practice at home. And you can just record, as I said, with Vocaroo. But the Vocaroo link, the audio will be deleted in about a month or 2 months, I think it is, after you've recorded it. But you just re-record it and add the link again. So it's very simple. This is another activity which Mike Elliott put together from who's secondary. But you can see here, very nice. It's basically like using a sentence builder. So he's putting the different items in each column, and then he just clicks here, and then a random thing comes up. There we are. And then you could then design that yourself, whatever you would like. So that's another type of Wheel of Names type activity for taking advantage of sentence builders if you wanted to use it for that as well. But just for simple random selections of different items in a sentence, it's really nice. And then you could get the children to then write a translation in the chat, for example, or just say it out loud. And there's lots of other activities. You've got Hangman, you've got crosswords, you've got put the letters in the right order, and it's all completely free. All you need is a Google Sheet activity, and you need to make the Google Sheet live, publish it on the web, which so obviously you wouldn't have any student details there, but it's very straightforward. You just go through each item, and it says demo, instructions, and templates. Very, very simple. So there we are. That's what I was going to show. And if you'd like this presentation, it's a very short presentation, you can access it via this link here. Brilliant. And again, thanks to Susie for putting this on. It's lovely that we're all getting together and sharing ideas. And I hope that you found that useful. And I can't wait to see I know the chat would have gone from the first one. Anyway, I'm glad that you liked AutoDraw in particular. That's a great one. And if you haven't seen Book Creator, check out AutoDraw, which is in Book Creator as part of the drawing tools as well. Thanks ever so much.
Brilliant. That's great. Let me just check that the chat is back on again. Okay, so we're back to me. That's great, lovely. Well, I think we've got a couple more people who would like to contribute. Am I okay to unmute you, Kate Highland Collier? I think you wanted to pop on and speak to us about some musical elements to your teaching. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. I think Sarah's got to leave. I will make sure that the recordings are made available. Okay. Hi there, Kate. Can we hear your audio?
Hi. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Hello.
Right. Well, I find that the students of primary and secondary find verbs quite hard. So I just actually teach them verbs by songs. So I've used London's Burning for F. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont, être to be, and they'll learn that as a verb, and then they never have a problem remembering it again. And then I use aller. We use the Pink Panther for aller, and then we walk around the classroom being really silly. We go, je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. And we sort of go around the classroom like this. And they sing the song, and eventually they get the words right, but they actually love it, and they really learn the verb. With faire, we used Clementine's song, but they don't know that, unfortunately, but never mind, they have to learn it. Je fais, tu fais, il fait, elle fait, nous faisons, vous faites, ils font, elles font. And then for ER verbs, I use the conga song. So go, je vais, je joue, tu joues, il joue, elle joue, nous jouons, vous jouez, il joue, elle joue. And then we do actions for all the personal pronouns. So je is pointing to yourself. Tu, you point to someone else. Il, it's very sexist. Il's half a moustache. L, you kind of flounce your hair. Nous is point to you and then to everybody else. Vous, 2 hands out because it's plural. Il, 2 sides of the moustache because that's plural. And elle, 2 flounces of the hair. So, je joue, tu joues, il joue, elle joue. Nous jouons, vous jouez, il joue, elle joue. And then they learn the personal pronouns and the verbs, hopefully. And then we practice it with different ER verbs. And the year 6s loved that. We did that before the lockdown, and they were all going around the classroom and doing the. Even the boys joined in, and the boys particularly enjoyed the actions. So that was really good.
Fantastic.
And then, I mean, Susie will remember we did an avoir song, which I think I learned at many eons ago at Teacher Training College. Jasper Kay did an avoir song. And it's imprinted in all my students' memories now. It's not a generic song, but it goes, j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. And then there's 5 verses to it, which I could give Susie the text, and maybe she could give it to everybody else, because it then uses the verbs within a song. Qu'est-ce que tu as? Moi, j'ai un chat. Nous avons un chat aussi, and so on. And they remember the song and they learn the verb, and you never have a problem with those verbs. And I find with those particular, obviously they're the 4 main verbs in French, once they've got the song, and you have to keep practicing it. And I start from year 2 upwards. And I find it's really effective just to learn the verbs. And when they say, oh, I can't remember, and then we sing the song, and then they remember the verb. Obviously, it's like counting. If you ask them number 7, you have to go from number 1 all the way upwards. So, you have to do that with the verbs and start with the je vais. So, but once they've gradually more practiced, they get there, and it's fine, and it works really well. And I find the mixture of singing and actions very, very effective for memorizing and reinforcing vocabulary, and it's fun. So, hope lots of different uses of songs. I use songs all the time, every single time.
I think there's a lot of love on the chat for singing in languages. I was just saying, the expression chanter comme une casserole was made for me specifically because I don't have a beautiful voice as you do, Kate. And people have commented on your lovely voice in the chat. But I think if you've got enthusiasm and you go for it, I think whether you've got a good voice or not, the children respond really well. So lots of big thank you and love for your songs, Kate. So thank you very much for sharing that. That's brilliant. Can I next invite on Anna Granger? I'm just going to unmute you if that's okay. So thank you ever so much, Kate. That was brilliant. Hi, Anna.
Hello, hi. Mine's only going to be very, very, very quick. I just asked Susie if I could just plug MFL Chat on the 8th of June. I don't know whether you've come across MFL Chat on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, hashtag MFL Chat. Monday evenings between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, I think. There's about 5 questions, and MFL teachers are just encouraged to sort of get involved and sort of share ideas, network and what have you. But very accidentally, a couple of days ago, I became the new, or the most recent, should I say, host of MFL Chat. But I'm really, really keen. I teach primary now. I've sort of taught secondary, I've taught adults, now in primary. But I'm really keen to get a bit more of a primary focus in there as well. So the one on the 8th of June is all going to be about confidence. And this all sort of like came about because somebody had put on Twitter something about they spend about half of their lesson time trying to convince their year 7 and 8 that they can learn another language. And I sort of responded and said, funnily enough, you don't actually have to spend that much time trying to convince years 2, 3 and 4 that they can speak another language. They just sort of just take it on. And it sort of got me thinking that actually, if we sort of, what can we do in primary in order to try and take that burden away once children move into secondary. So that's kind of where hopefully that chat's going. And if it goes well, hopefully we might be able to do some more, which are a bit more primary focused as well. So yeah, MFL chat, hashtag MFL chat, and I'm on Twitter as well as global_educator. So 8th of June, put it in your diaries.
Brilliant. And did you say, Anna, it's Mondays from 8 till 9? I think that's what I've put in the chat, but I don't know whether
it's 8:30 till 9.
I did say it's probably worth checking. So definitely,
yeah, just check, because I can never remember.
Okay, perfect. And I've been on there a number of times. There's some really, really, really good content. And if you can't go on live, then if you look for the hashtag MFL chat, you can go back over any tweets that anybody has included, because sometimes Monday night isn't practical.
Yeah, and also they all sort of get uploaded onto a website called learninglinguist.co.uk. I think it's just all one word. I don't think there's an underscore or anything. So if you look at that website, if you just Google for Learning Linguist, you can actually see previous chats and sort of see the sorts of things that people say.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you for flagging that up. And again, it's really important that we just keep touching base. I think for anyone who's in a small department, or a bit like me in one of my schools, a department of one, it's just good to know that there are lots of other people out there who are either doing great or struggling, or just that sharing of ideas and sharing our passion for languages. I think now more than ever, we're realizing that actually we, even if we work in confinement, we can still share what we do. And it will be a benefit to somebody else. So that's what this morning is.
And if can I just give another shameless plug, Susie? Because Susie was saying that she ran the primary hub for York, is it? I forget now.
Yes.
But I sort of run the primary hub, which has kind of become a bit of a primary and secondary hub for Coventry. So if anybody's out there in Coventry, get in touch, and we'd love you to come along.
Fantastic. And I think Helen Stokes, who I don't know if Helen's still here or whether she might have had to go and teach, but Helen is also starting something up in the Midlands, because I don't think there was very much going on in that kind of area. So if you are in an area of the country where there isn't an ALL hub and you are keen to get something going, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to run it. Then, as I say, do get in touch, and we can try and put you in touch with colleagues in your area, and maybe do what Nieves and I do and sort of share the work between you. But it's definitely worthwhile, isn't it, Anna? It's a really good thing to put together.
Do you know what? 4 years ago, I mean, the reason the Coventry one started was because it's a lonely job when you're teaching primary and you're the only person. And I was just thinking, I need some ideas, I need some people to network with. And so I just basically, I did send messages out to every school. I emailed every office. We got a couple of people come to the first one. Some people said, we want you to tell us what to do, and I said, sorry, that's not going to happen. They never came back. But then just gate crashing every meeting that I could possibly find in Coventry. It's grown, and I think it's brilliant. I've learned so much, and it's been a fantastic network. So
brilliant. Okay, and I think in the chat a number of people have said they would like to get something going in their area, so please do get in touch with us, and we can get you in touch with the people at ALL who can help you to make that happen. That would be amazing. Now, let me just see. That's brilliant, Anna. I'm just checking in the picture images of everyone who's online. Now, I hope I say your name correctly. Aisling? Did I get that right? Thumbs up. Aisling is going to come on next and talk about all the brilliant work that she's been doing over in Ireland as part of her company, Linguisi. So it's lovely to have you, Aisling, and lovely to see you face to face after all of our online chats.
Thanks so much all together for having me. A bit like what Anna said, gate crashing, but it's lovely among such like-minded people who were inspired by language learning. Just to give a bit of a situation, just in Ireland we currently don't learn languages in primary school. So I'm a secondary school teacher, and a bit like Claire's past, I'll be moving more into the primary because there are languages in the next 2 years. So it's I'm really passionate about. I've brought my kids up bilingually, and I suppose during this time I have 4 children, so I'm obviously spending a lot of time juggling, and I realized that they had no contact with other kids of their age. And a lot of the schools here were just sending out homework via email. There was no kind of video conference for primary level. So I said, well, why don't we let them try something new during this time? So what I've started to do YouTube on Friday at 12. We have a live with me and my children. So it's generally between 10 and 15 minutes. It's going right back to the basics. It's using words that they can use. So we're going back there. We made the madeleine, so the ingredients for baking, things that kids are doing now in this situation and where they can learn something new and inspire them to be open to languages and just give them that first introduction in a very relaxed, fun way. Obviously, it's not very relaxing for me, my 3 kids. I hide my stress. There's times I'm kicking them under the table during the live shows. Doing lives is also very strenuous for you that I hadn't realized that when you do lives with children, you can't have live commenting. So the first one, YouTube cut me 5 minutes. So it's been a great technological learn. So that's why I actually pre-record a version. I upload it. I keep it in private. The lives as well, broadband often isn't the best, so the quality might not be. So the minute I finish the live, I actually put it into private and I make the recorded version visible. And I then share the recording out. Now it's the same content, it's the exact same that we've rehearsed, but it's just people like the fact that they're partaking in a live. They like feedback from children that like that they're talking to my children at the screen. They relate to the children very well, and they just find it fun. Again, it's just a way of learning something new, that it's not always just with an adult. For my kids, it's just we're teaching them something new. I did say I had 4 kids. My youngest one does not appear in these videos. I keep saying I'm keeping him 2. So he's the troublemaker of the family. But like that, again, it's great to see all the different routes that are out there. And it's a fun way of introducing young children to the language. We were involved with the European Expo there a week ago. We did a short little class with colours and flag and the names of the countries. I do it in a way where I'm not directly translating the words. So even though I'm speaking in English, use the words, it would always be in French. And just kind of introduce them slowly to it. They had fun with words like the pronunciation of ananas. So we do a bit of drama about it. We kind of make things, we have fun facts that we introduce. Again, it's all filmed like Catherine, it's all filmed mainly in my kitchen. So it's just we're trying to put in a situation that children can relate to. They're all confined at the moment. They're limited to what's in their house, what they do. So we're just trying to use things that they can relate to the current situation. So that's kind of a quick summary on what I'm trying to do in Ireland.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much. And I tried to share, hopefully you could see in the background.
Probably spoke really fast. I'm so sorry. I probably spoke really fast.
I've put a link in the chat to your Linguiza YouTube channel, and I think Joe Dale has done the same. And hopefully you could see as I was screen sharing all of the brilliant videos. I actually used the Europe Day video myself in a lesson that I taught last week. So thank you very much personally for that one as well. That was brilliant. Now, I'm just going to check on my list.
Feel free, it's there for everyone.
Well, and the thing is, it's a bit like all of us who are putting content out there. I think, you know, somebody said to me, oh, you're really kind to share it, Susie. You're always sharing resources. But the fact is, if I'm going to put all that time and energy into making something, if the only audience I'm going to get is the maybe 20 or so students that I teach, then that's an awful lot of hard work for not a great lot of return. Whereas if you guys can use those videos and it saves you time and energy and you can put those out to your learners, then why would I not want to share that? So yeah, thank you for all the brilliant work that you're doing. Now, I think there are still about 40 of us online. I've gone through my list of people who contacted me and said that they would like to share. I'm just going to check the chat now. Is there anyone else who would like to share a quick input or something that is working for them? Otherwise, I'm more than happy to round things up with a couple of final ideas and resources just before this third and final call ends. I don't think I can see anyone in the chat now. Becky says she would like to say something. Right, do you want to unmute yourself, Becky? That would be brilliant.
Hi everyone.
Hi Becky.
So I'm less than 0.5 in secondary, and I do one primary school where I teach year 5 and 6 at the moment, hopefully a bit more next year. So it's just 1 hour a week with each class, so 2 hours per week. So mainly what I've been working on has been the secondary. The primary haven't really wanted much anything from me, but I provided some Quizlet links, which was new for them, so that was exciting. as an add-on. I think it was probably an extra activity. However, something that we're getting improved engagement from with the secondary students remotely, which I'm sure will work absolutely fine with the primary, and I haven't done it with them yet, but I hope to, is Quizlet Live. I'm sure several of you will be familiar with it, but you can use existing resources. You don't have to create anything yourself in order to set up a live Quizlet game. You can choose something that is appropriate, that already exists. Obviously, you'll want to check it first. And whatever method you're using, if you can communicate live with them, they then need a code to be able to log into the game. They do not have to log into the site. They don't have to give any details. They can just log in, go on to Quizlet, and then they put in the code which you send them. And then as soon as you've got enough people who have joined, and you again choose if they use their real name or not, then you can set the game going. And it might be about, I don't know, introducing yourself, or it might be about colours, or it might be about, I've been working on the primary languages stuff about visiting Paris and being able to describe, you know, locations. So if you yourself would need an account to host the game, but other than that, they don't need to log in. And it's anonymous. Your school may have different requirements. It's anonymous. Nobody's seeing each other. They're not seeing or hearing you. It's all anonymous. But if you have a different parallel method of communicating with them, you could use it in secondary. My school is using Padlet, or so that they can actually have comments back and forth, and hopefully it will then provoke some perhaps questions or conversations about other work. It's helping to improve engagement, but perhaps will then lead into more for the secondary work feedback. But just the game itself for primary might be of interest.
Brilliant. And on the chat, I've got here Anna saying that her year 4, 5 and 6 love Quizlet. So I think it's just as effective for primary children as it is for secondary. I've certainly used it with my year 3s, and I think it might take a little bit of time to get them used to logging on and how it all works and how to interact with each other. But I think once you get going with it, it's really great. And we've got Hannah saying that she uses Kahoot, which is different but similar in that it's an interactive quiz. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Becky. That's brilliant. I'm just going to finish, if that's okay, with 1 or 2 final screens. And then I think what we have said on the chat, 1 or 2 people, is that we may well look to run another one of these a week or 2 after half term, because I think we're in this for the long haul for now, although some classes may be going back to school. So if you want to put in the chat whether you think that would be useful or not, and anybody who maybe hasn't been brave enough to share today, if you would like to join us on the next chat and maybe come up with something, you know, all ideas and resources are valid, and we're really keen to hear from you. We talked quite a lot about using video in the languages classroom, and some of my teaching that I've been doing in lockdown has been live, and some of it has been pre-recorded. And I just wanted to share with you an app which is called Clip-O-Matic. It is paid, so I think I paid £5. That's CLIPOMATIC. And I'm just going to share with you a little video that I made over the weekend with the help of my trusty friend Camembert, where it gives you ready-made annotations. So whatever language you speak in, whether it's French, Spanish, Italian, when you point the video at you, and it's a maximum of 60 seconds, it will actually transfer what you're saying in the target language into a speech bubble or a subtitle at the top or bottom of the screen. So I'll just show you what one might look like.
Bonjour les enfants, c'est Madame Dioul, et lui, c'est Camembert. Today we're going to learn parts of the body. And to start with, we've got la tête. And here we've got les épaules. Now here, where Camembert has got his knees, les genoux. And on the bottom of his legs, les pieds. La tête, les épaules, les genoux, et les pieds. 2 yeux, 2 eyes, and 2 oreilles, 2 ears, et une bouche. Tête, épaules, genoux, pieds. I think you can probably guess what song we're going to be learning today. Allez, au revoir les enfants.
So that's just a little taster of what that might look like. Now, I have actually been adding those to my YouTube channel, which is just Sue2276 on YouTube. And so again, if any of those can be of use, I think we're probably up to about 20 or so videos now. So please feel free to use those if you think they might be useful. Just a reminder for those of you who are teaching Spanish rather than French, you have got Claire Seckham's YouTube channel, MFL Sunderland, where there are 58 recently added videos in Spanish which you could share with your learners. I haven't yet mentioned Natalingo. Many of you know Natalie Paris. So on Natalie's website, you have got links to the many videos that she has been uploading. She does a regular podcast, and there's lots and lots of brilliant ideas for languages teachers on there about the kinds of resources that you might want to use, either now in lockdown or in the future when you get back face to face with your classes. We mentioned earlier Madame Contin's YouTube channel, Learn French at Home with Madame Contin, and as well as the ALL free webinars. Just a quick plug for Stéphane Delron from Linguiscope, just to say that the Linguiscope free training webinars are still continuing. So we have got the linguiscope.com/training. If you go onto there, all of these webinars are free. They are from 4 till 5 UK time in the afternoon, and they are all recorded. So if you aren't available, you can go onto the Linguiscope Vimeo channel. And so this just gives you an example of a webinar which I hosted a few weeks ago, a month ago now, wow, about building cultural capital. So for anyone who is teaching or after a long day of teaching just doesn't really feel like being online for yet another Zoom call or webinar, all of those videos are available on the Linguiscope Vimeo channel. And I think if I just click on here, it will take you to vimeo.com/Linguiscope, and all of the videos are there in one place. I hope that is another useful link. And I think that is all from me. So let me just check in the chat that there is no one else wanting to join in. They don't do live sometimes. Thank you so much. Good. Right. I don't know if I can see all of the messages, but it looks like we don't have anyone else volunteering. Well, can I just say on behalf of Nieves and myself, a big thank you to all of those who've contributed, but especially to those of you who've given up your morning to join us and to share the languages love. And just to show that you are all really caring about your language learners, that you are wanting to learn new tricks. And I think my final point really would be, please do not go away from this webinar feeling overwhelmed or inferior, or that you aren't doing a good job. That is not at all the intention. I think my wish certainly is that all of you will take away at least 1 or 2 ideas, and it might be an idea now while it's fresh in your mind. I've actually got a whole page, I don't know if you can see my notebook, I've got a whole page of notes of my own, of things to explore, and actually ideas that I'm hoping to put into practice in some of my lessons for later this week. So I do hope that there has been something useful for everyone. Take away 1 or 2 ideas just to start with, and then maybe come back to 1 or 2 of the others at a later date if you feel that that would be appropriate. So thank you all so much for your time and your commitment. You're all doing a fantastic job. And I suggested in the chat that perhaps in a couple of weeks after we get back from half-term holidays, we might try and do this again. And maybe some of you who haven't been brave enough to step forward and chat this time would like to contribute then, and maybe feeling a bit more confident about doing so. Okay, we've got a couple of thumbs up there, so that's brilliant. Okay, well, I will wish you goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a brilliant week. I will be uploading these to youtube.com/Sue2276 later, and I'll post the links to the videos on Facebook and Twitter later. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thanks, Susie.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.